top link down description, guys. And if you order through that link, you also help me out. So I've had F1 2017 now for a week, guys, and I've been playing it quite a lot, I think it's safe to say. And I felt today, you know, just before the game releases to the public, that I should do my review on whether or not you guys should buy this game. Now, first of all, just like the two most recent F1 games on 2015 and F1 2016, the graphics are stunning, you know. It's like looking at real life, it's really that good. It's also locked in at 1080p 60 FPS, which is always nice, even on consoles, you know, for a lot smoother of an experience, you know. It really just, you know, helps out, make it even more enjoyable. Now, although the AI do have a tendency to back out of moves sometimes, they can race better wheel-to-wheel, you know, with each other and as well as you than they ever really have been able to do before. You know, there's been a bit more tweaking to that, and they can run side-by-side with each other for, you know, sort of a good half a lap at least around some circuits. And also now do make more mistakes like running wide sometimes and locking up, as you would have seen in a couple of videos. Now, one problem I found, though, is that the AI do just not move out of your way when you're doing qualifying runs, unfortunately. They don't seem to understand blue flags, and if you did watch my Monaco career mode video, you would have seen that I was just stuck behind Felipe Massa as he trundled around as he failed to notice the bright orange McLaren right behind him, guys. But onto the career mode then, and 2016, F1 2017, it has just been upped to 11, nearly 5 times the amount of upgrades that were on F1 2016, and that really, you know, just a so much better career mode on the whole. You know, you've got so much now to think about what upgrades to do in, when you need them done by, engines, how bad the wear is on so many different components on the engine, the gearbox. If you are keeping up my career mode, you'd know that I've already had to replace the engine now once already, and I might have to replace it again for a second time very soon. And although, you know, these things can be quite frustrating for a proper hardcore F1 fan like myself, it is actually quite nice, you know, you're in the middle of a race and you have to think about how much you want to save the engine, you know, not just for the rest of that race, but also down, you know, for a couple more races to go afterwards. Now, the career mode, I feel, on F1 2017 is tailored far more to a hardcore F1 player over, you know, sort of a casual, although the game itself is very much pick up and play. If you only want, you know, to be playing career mode for 1 or 2 years, then I'd pick a car like a Mercedes, Ferrari, or Red Bull. If you fancy going, you know, for sort of 3-4 seasons, then maybe a Williams or Force India, a Renault or a Haas, or if you're just playing stupid like me, go with something like a McLaren or a Sauber, and, you know, it can easily keep you going for, you know, sort of a good 5-6 seasons, and easily, you know, you'll still be playing up until the release of F1 2018. As well as the fact now, you know, you're more likely than ever to be able to race against AI that are perfectly suited to your skill level. Now, obviously, F1 2017 has a slider rather than just 7 options. You've effectively got 110 different options of what you can play against. So, you know, if you're feeling a little bit too slow, bring it down, say 3 points. If you think it's a little bit too quick, maybe up it by sort of 2 or 3 points as well. And, you know, even in the slower cars, you know, you can still, if you really want to, you can still challenge higher up the order. Now, although I haven't been able to really test the online particularly, where obviously there's just been no one online to play with, you know, there is a lot more availability to it, and it is looking like it obviously, I can't base it on the connection itself, but some of the new features they're adding, like commentary slots and things, is making it a lot more easily accessible and better to use. And, you know, last year when I was trying to do commentaries, you had to leave the session after every single session, you had to leave the lobby after every single session, and that did make it very, very difficult. Pad versus wheel, I feel, are closer than ever. Obviously, if you did miss out on the video I made talking about the pad versus wheel, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. And although I feel the pad does have a slight advantage over the wheel at the moment, I think, you know, personally for me, I still use the wheel as it's just a much more immersive experience. All the circuits are wonderfully realistic, and Monaco at night is one feature I'd recommend everyone tries out. You know, I've already done a video on that, and classic cars are absolutely brilliant as well, whether it's a V12 from the late 90s, a screaming V10 of the early 2000s, or a V8 from this last decade. You're bound to find a lot of great racing and nostalgia with the classic cars, and, you know, they've just been upped so much for F1 2017. But if you're a gamer looking for the real deal in F1 games, you know, if you're just someone new to the franchise, I would highly recommend picking up F1 2017. You know, it'll give you sort of the most realistic experience and most fulfilling experience. The game is very easy to pick up and play. F1 2016 was very, very difficult to master in comparison. So for new players, F1 2017 is very, very good. But I think, you know, that really has been the end of my F1 2017 review. Hopefully, you know, you guys have enjoyed this video. Do not forget to like, subscribe, as I'm closing in to 2,000 subscribers nice and quickly at the moment. So, you know, it'd be very, very nice if I could hit that nice and soon. But so far, you know, if you guys have been watching all the F1 2017 videos, I can only thank you for all the support. I think we've got nearly 50,000 views in 3 days alone. But if you do have any questions about the F1 2017 game, feel free to ask them down in the comments. I do try to respond to every single comment that I do get, guys. But for now, I will see you guys next time for a brand new video.